I'm going to explain what is Claude Code and how to use it in each setting, and at the end I'm going to explain how to do Claude Code routines. So let's start. I'm going to explain Claude Code and how to use it on autopilot. It's not a chatbot, it's an AI that does the work and it can run by itself. If in the cloud while your laptop is closed, from 0 to 1. So let's go. If you are a person that has been using Claude Code in the web, in the chat, and has a paid subscription that can use Claude Code, this is the right video for you, and I'm going to explain you all the ways you can use Claude Code and how to use it. First, let's talk about the basics. It does the work and it just doesn't talk. Let's talk about the basic. Claude Code is an AI agent. It takes action and it isn't a chatbot like you may use in the web. You just have a chat and you talk to it. You can give it goals in plain English and it reads your files and does the task. It can work on your computer. It can build, edit, fix, organize, automate step by step in front of you. And you don't need to be a coder because if the code word may sound like more technical and you need to know about coding, no, it's just Claude Code. It helps you to code so that you don't have to actually code. That's why it's called Claude Code. There are 4 ways to use Claude Code and you only can use it in a paid subscription. In the free plan you only have the web version. First, it's the terminal, the original one, and it's the most powerful. You have a terminal in your computer and you just type Cloud if you have it installed, and then you can use it in the terminal, but this method is more complex, and in this, if you use this, you need to have a skill and know more about coding. For example, if I go in here and I search my terminal and I type, as you'll see, I type Cloud because I have it installed, and then it appears. It will ask you if it trusts the folder, yes. Because Claude Code works in your computer. It's not like in the web. If you create a folder and Claude Code does all the files and the stuff it does, it puts it in a folder in your computer. As you may see now, it appears Claude Code. Welcome back. The model, you can change it and just type in here what you want. You can type to change the model or schedule tasks. This is the Claude Code using it in terminal. For me, it's the most complex one. And first if I were you and starting, I would first try in the web, in the app, and then in the VS Code, and then in the terminal. The second method is in the VS Code. It's inside your editors. You can see every change as it happens. You can see in the left, the folders and files, and in the right, the Claude Code chat, like in the web, and then you can see in real time what it does and the real folders and files you might want to watch and if those videos or everything. To use it in the Visual Studio Code, you just need to go and type Visual Studio Code and download it for depending of your computer if you have Windows or iPad, and you just download it. It's here, sorry. I already have you click download for Windows or whatever model is your computer. And then when it's downloaded, you will have like this. It will appear. First you will have to select a folder to choose. Well, first you go to here, extension, you type Claude Code, and it will appear Claude Code verified by Anthropic, and you just install it. I already have installed it. And then when you have installed it, you have to open a folder because, as I said, it works on your computer. So the best thing is to create a folder for all the things you have and let Claude Code organize it for you like a second brain. So I'm going to open my folder, Pep Second Brain, and I have everything in there. And I see I already have chats, and you create here in the .cloud, or you can also have codecs. You create it and you have a fresh chat. And in here you can see all the folders and files. And you just type in the web, and that's it. Then let's look at the other option we have. The desktop app, you can download it by searching Claude Code and you download it by Windows or whatever computer program you use. And here is where I would tell you to start because it's the easiest way. It's like doing it in the web, like you use it normally. And if you're changing from web to Claude Code and this stuff, then I would advise you to use the desktop app at the beginning. So you just type out Code download, and you download it, desktop, Cloud Code desktop, then it will appear like this. And in here you have like the regular chat like you use it in the web. You have here all the chats, the projects. Before there was code, but now they have put it inside home. You have code, projects, artifacts, schedule, customize with all the chats like you normally use it. Then you can choose Cloud Code, and it's also like a chat. And here are the routines. You click new session and you just describe what you want in this chat. And then the thing that changes from the Visual Studio Code is that you cannot see it. You cannot see the folders in the left. In here you can see the chats in the left, but not the folders. But it works locally in your folders, but you cannot see it. You just have to go to the Explorer and see the folders. So that's why I prefer Visual Studio Code. But if you're starting, I would advise you to start in here because it's like as you did in the web. So if you're making this change, it's easier to start from here and then you can use Visual Studio Code. So you can see we have the routines, I talk about this later. And then the for way to use it is in the web like you use it normally in the chat, but you don't have Cloud Code. So the easiest one is desktop app, then Visual Studio Code, and then the terminal. So I'm going to break it down every way to use it. The first one, the terminal, is the most powerful way because the original surface and where most people install Cloud Code, and because you have the most control. It looks a bit intimidating at the beginning because it looks like a lot of coding and that stuff, but you just have to type it in plain English. You don't have to learn to know how to code. Once you're comfortable using the terminal, it's the fastest way. And it's best for full power, control, server, and serious automation. Then the Visual Studio Code, VS Code, for people who want to see the work, that you want to see the folder. It's a free code editor, you don't have to pay anything. With a Cloud Code extension, as you saw earlier, you just have to install Cloud Code. You can also install coders that it's like the Cloud Code for ChatGPT, OpenAI, and you see your files on the left and Cloud Code on the right, and changes so you can see the changes automatically. And it's best for building real projects, sites, apps, anything visual that requires to see it. Then the third way is the app. It's the simplest place to start, as I said, in the desktop app for Mac or Windows. Feels like a normal app, like using it in the web. Download, open, and done. No terminal, no editor. The friendliest start for non-coders. Then there is also the web way that if you search Cloud AI code, it runs in your browser. So for a recap, the terminal for maximum power and control. Your home base later. Visual Studio Code, building projects when you want to see every change. And the desktop app, the simplest place to start because feels like normal, like you've been using all the AI models like ChatGPT, Cloud. And the web, it's anywhere, no install, and where routines live. I just want to note that you can also use in the Visual Studio Code that you can use the terminal. If you go to the Visual Studio Code and you can install the terminal by typing terminal and you click install, and then you will also see the folders and the terminal. So it's like a combination of the two. With the Visual Studio, I'm inside always Visual Studio Code, and you can install the terminal, and then you will be able to use it instead of the chat. But you will also see the file, so it's like two for one. Now I'm going to explain the Cloud Desktop app, what you can do. So in here, new task, by you just create a new chat. You can create projects. Then you can create a project and put the start from scratch, import a project, or use an existing folder. If you start from scratch, you name it and then you tell it an instruction, and you can add files that it may need. And then with this project, you create chats, and every time a chat, but they have the instructions from the project and the files. Then there are the artifacts. It's the stuff that Cloud creates and the things that you upload. Then you can schedule, this was before the Cloud co-work. You can schedule tasks to run on on the time that you want and do whatever you want. If you want a brief of whatever you are doing every morning, you can schedule it. Then there is customize that you can connect your apps, that this is a really important thing. First you have the skills. skills that Cloud Code might need is like when you do like a recipe, every time you do it, when you follow the instructions on how to do, for example, a lasagna, it's like a skill for Cloud. It's like the same. Every time it does a task, if it has the skill, it does it always the same as you want it. So that's you can create the skills or pick these skills that Cloud Code gives you already. Then there are the connectors that you can connect any app you use every day because there are a lot of them and just sign up and you have it connected. It can go through your drive, create documents, send you Gmail, create calendars, events. You can use it with Lovable, Hicksville, Stripe, Gamma to create presentations. You can browse it in here, in connector, and you can see how many are. Almost every app you use every day. If you want to automate things, there's almost anything. That is a connector means that you don't have to pay for an API key. So then it's free and you just have to sign up and have an account and connect it and that's it. Whereas if it doesn't appear in here, you will have to tell Cloud Code to connect it and it will need an API key that you have to put like $5 every time and it's you have to pay for it. But in here you have it for free. Then in Cloud Code you'll see the routines. It's like as it says a routine that you want it to do every X time that every for example every day or every week it does this. And what happens is that you have to connect it to your cloud to your local computer or to a GitHub repository or a cloud and then you give it the instructions and when you put it like every Wednesday at 8 a.m. it does that and the instructions is like if you were in a chat and pasting the exact instructions. So it's like to do it without you even being, it pastes these instructions like in a chat and it does it and when it finishes that's it and you have the output that you put and you can connect it to the apps that you may need. For example, in here I have three, the daily news and create a presentation. If I click in here, you'll see now it's paused and I can activate it and it runs every day at 1 a.m. I put it in 1 a.m. so that it doesn't burn credits when I actually use it. And as you see in here, the connectors, Google Drive and Zapier, the whole instructions, you can use in a Cloud Code chart, tell it to give you the prompt for an instruction that you want to create a routine with. And in here you can see all the schedule, how successfully they were, and if they were manual or scheduled. And in here you can click and you can see that it's a chat. It's the same as you would do, but doing it without you being there, so that you can actually automate it and don't be overwhelmed with so much work. Just create Cloud Code routines that work for you. As you can see, it's a chat and it pasted everything, and then the final output, the presentation. And if I click, it downloads, and as you can see in here, I have other ones. Well, I can download it and I save it and then I click to it and I have a whole presentation from the daily AI news. Just if you want to connect it, you go to Cloud Code routine, new routine, you choose local or cloud. In here you name it, the description and the instruction, the actual prompt that is detailed on what it has to do, the final output, and in here schedule manually, hourly, daily, at the hour that you want, and select a folder that it uses. And that's it. That's how you create a Cloud Code routine. So it actually runs in the cloud and the laptop, it can run without the laptop being open. It runs on Anthropic's cloud, not your computer. You can be asleep and it still runs. As I said, I put it in 1 a.m. And you can create it with a schedule in the terminal or in the Visual Studio Code or in the Cloud Desktop app as you saw. You can pick when hour, daily, weekdays, weekly, or a custom schedule. Runs in your time zone and minimum interval is once per hour. And depending of the plan, you have the $20 plan, the basic paid plan, you have up to 4 routines a day. With the max plan, you have like 10 or 15 maybe. If you don't know how to create and how to do a Cloud Code routine, I can give you examples like Morning brief at 8 a.m. Watch a site or repo for changes. Weekly report every Monday. Draft tomorrow's content tonight. And that kind of stuff. You can just automate everything with the Cloud Code routine. And it works without you being and doing the work. So now it's your turn to install it, automate it one thing today, and start using Visual and Cloud Code. Starting with the Cloud Code desktop app and then changing to Visual Studio Code, and then after in the terminal. I hope you like it, and if you find it interesting, please give a like or subscribe for more AI news and tutorials and explaining AI things. And thank you for making it to the end.